Hello, everyone, and welcome to John Talks Indian Cinema. I am your host, John, the Indian Cine-MANIAC. So I hope you enjoyed the Jaws episode that we filmed with the YKY crew. It was a lot of fun to get together, a lot of laughs, as always. And I thought some really great discussion. I love that film, and it was great to see everyone. Some people I haven't really spoken to in almost a year. So it's great to get everyone together. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen it, take a look at it. I think you'll enjoy it too, even though it's not an Indian film. It's a classic film. And I know you guys like classic films. So I also want to say a big thank you because right now, as of this recording, I have 72 subscribers. Obviously, it's going to be baby steps. And right now, I'm just trying to hit 100. And it's slowly but surely moving up. And I know you guys are a big part of why that's happening because you're sharing these videos. You're doing a lot of commenting. It's still strange. I can't figure it out. You know, I've got over 70 subscribers, but I'm still only getting like 12, 13 likes. So I'm not really quite sure. I guess I have to offer cash or something. Maybe that's what I got to do for every like. No, I can't do that. No, that's got tax implications. Anyway, I appreciate you guys subscribing, hitting the notification button, hitting the like button, and sharing. It's made a difference, and we're slowly moving up. Now, I did find out one thing that I'm really bummed out about. So at the end of these videos, I play one of three of my favorite songs from Indian films. One of them is Zooby Dooby. You guys know I love that. But I've discovered that because I was getting copyright hits on every single video, but it says you can use them, you just can't monetize it. And I figured out why. It's the songs at the end, and I'm only playing, I think, 15 to 20 seconds. So I'm gonna have to change that once I reach 100 subs because that's when I think that's when you can start monetizing. I'm not 100% sure, but it's gonna have to change, which bums me out. I love listening to those songs at the end. I just wanted you guys to know that. Okay, so the film that I am going to be reviewing today was recommended by at Rajvats 9337 or Rajvats 9337. And this was a boxing film and came out in 2017, and it's Mukkabazz, or it was also known as The Brawler. It was directed by Anurag Kashyap, who directed Gangs of Wasseypur, Ugly, and those two definitely actually Sacred Games too. I mean, he's definitely got a certain style that you can kind of tell it's his film. It stars Vineet Kumar Singh, who was in Gangs of Wasseypur and Ugly. Jimmy Shergill, who when I first saw him in the film, I go, I know who this is, but I can't remember what I've seen him in because he was older than some of the films I remember from. He was in Ah Wednesday, Bang Bang, and My Name is Khan. Zoya Hussain, in her feature debut, who I really thought was pretty wonderful in this film. Rajesh Talang, who was in Phantom and Mirzapur. Sridhar Dubey, who was in Gangs of Wasseypur, Oh My God 2, Bola, and Ravi Kishan, who was in Laapataa Ladies. Really good cast. This film was also inspired by a true story. Now, normally I do a little research on the actual story, but I have to believe there was a lot of creative license with this film. So I really didn't want to do that, even though it is based on the true story. Okay, the story. The story is about a character who all he wants to do is box. In fact, let me and I should have done this. I don't know why I don't do this before I get on these things, and you guys get to sit there and watch me figure it out. But he plays this character, and I want to make sure I get everybody's name. Just bear with me. Okay, here we go. The Brawler. Okay, so he plays a character, Shravan. I know I wrote that down. Shravan. So he doesn't have a job. He lives with his parents and his sister. And at the beginning of the film, and it happens very quickly, they start off the scene with lynching or beating up. I think it was lynching of cow herders, if I understood this correctly, because that's a big no-no within this culture. Okay. And again, I've seen this in other movies, but this is how it started off. And that's when you realize that Shergill's character, who Ram something, wait a minute, let me get this right. No, but Bangwanda, he's a bad guy, right? And the other thing they did with him, and I kind of like this actually, because they didn't explain it. He had very red eyes, and he always wore these red tinted sunglasses. And there were scenes where he would be on a phone and he'd be like this. So the, and he was doing this. So there was definitely something going on with his eye, but they never explained it. I thought that was kind of interesting. So at the beginning of the film, he wants to do boxing, and he wants to go to the States or the Nationals. And the coach is basically Jimmy Shergill's character is treating him like a slave. Get me? So now he rebels. And then there's a big fight, and he's pounding on all this guy's goons, all these fellow boxers. Well, then Jimmy Shergill hits him with a brick, pretty much knocks him out. And he's done with that coach, right? And this is going to affect his boxing career. Now he ends up meeting the bad guy's character's brother, whose daughter is mute. She's mute. And she is played by Zoya, right? Zoya Hussain, who Sunania. And I'll tell you, okay, so the first half is really him, it's their love story and him trying to box in order to get a job, because they end up falling in love, and it's actually adorable. That part of the film I thought was adorable. But he's got to get a job or he can't marry her. And he can get the job, he said the railway or not police, I think. A civil job, right? So that's the first half of the movie. The second half of the movie, as he trains, gets a new coach, pursues this marriage, gets married. Now it becomes a different movie, because this bad coach, played by Shergill, kidnaps the daughter, the father, and the mother, and brutalizes them. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. I mean, they take the father, lay him out in the bed, and smash his leg so he can't walk anymore. And they drug Zoya's character to keep her away from Sharavan. Wait a minute. Listen, someone jammed me up big time for mispronouncing the name of the Ajay Devgan film I just reviewed. I thought it was Gangajal. Apparently it's not. So I want to make sure I pronounce these right so I don't get jammed up. Shravan. Excuse me. So now it cuts back and forth between Shravan and the kidnapped girl. Well, he's there at the point in the movie, he's got to fight, knowing his wife is kidnapped. And he knows who did it. He knows it was the bad coach. And by the way, that bad coach also put his current coach in a coma and knocked him with a pipe. So, there were scenes where he's got the head bandage on, so they weren't even sure he's going to be able to fight. So he knows this. So, but he has no idea where she is. Now, through certain events, they find out where she is. Now it becomes a rescue film. And ultimately, they end up together. His boxing career is over by choice. And the bad guy, in my opinion, really didn't get his comeuppance. I was a little disappointed about that. I wanted something far worse than what happened to that guy. So, as far as the story goes, I'm going to give the story a 3, because the first half was Rocky, or Somebody Up There Likes Me, or any boxing film with an underdog you've ever seen. and the second half became a much different film. So I would have given this a 2 because not that it's a bad story. It's just I've seen it a million times. Not quite like this, but because of the second half, it became a much different film. That's why I'm going to give it a 3. Now, the performances in this film, I was this actor who I know I've seen him in other stuff, but I did not recognize him. I thought was great, Vineet Kumar Singh. First of all, the training that he must have done for this film. Now, I know that there was no fight choreographer in this film, and there was no action director. So what he did was a year before the film, before they started filming, he went to some guy's gym and trained and learned how to box there. Because the boxing looks pretty realistic. It's not like Hollywood boxing. It looked like what real boxers would do. But the other thing was he was ripped, like lean. I don't mean like Salman Khan, jacked up, or some of the films that Amir Khan does where he gets all pumped up. It wasn't like that. But the guy was rock solid. And they showed, like in the training scenes, I thought he was great. I really thought. And the girl, Zoya Hussain, so a tribute to her, I thought she was mute. And then I read, no, she wasn't. She can talk, but in this film, she's mute because what she has to do with her facial expressions, because she can't say anything, I thought was really great. She was believable. She was not, because you could hear the way they were talking about handicapped people, that it's part of the caste system, right? And they're looked down upon, and she did not want to be looked down upon just because she couldn't speak. And I thought the way she played that was, she was a very strong woman. And I thought she was wonderful. I thought Jimmy Shergill was a great bad guy because you hated him and you wanted him to die. At the end of this film, you wanted him dead. I also liked, he's been in films I've seen, but I didn't recognize him, Sridhar Dubey. I thought he was great as Shravan's friend, who was very funny, loyal, but had some, he was kind of the lighter. He was like the comic relief in this film, but not like stupid, goofy, funny, but he was funny. So I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna give the performances a 5 because not only were their performances good, but like the boxing stuff, I thought was really well done. Like the guy looked like he could box for real. So that's why I'm going to give it a 5. Now the music, there was a lot of music in this, and normally I'm not a big fan of that. But I have to say that I enjoyed the music because it wasn't big musical numbers that came out of nowhere. Every song in the film had a reason to be there. And it also, as I'm reading the lyrics and the subtitles, it advances the story. So in that regard, I really like the music. So I'm going to give the music a 4. So overall, and I have to say, I enjoyed the first half better than the second half because I loved the love story. That I found it touching. I found it adorable, and the way they played it. So overall, my verdict on the film, I am going to give this movie a 4. I really enjoyed this, and it flew by. It was I think it was 2.5 hours, but it really did fly by. Now, it wasn't without criticism. The fact that Shergill's character was doing all these horrible things, like illegal, horrific things. And I know that he was a government guy, a lot of power, but all this stuff is happening and no one's doing anything about it, including the cops, although in the end they do. I thought that was, I don't know, but there was also, they were so in love. And again, I thought that was like the strongest thing in the film. But once they get married and he gets a job, now there's a scene where they get in a big fight and he's worked one day. Okay. So this is one day he's working and they just got married and they're in this huge fight, like out of left field. Now this is, you're in the honeymoon phase, right? That didn't really seem real to me. But what I did enjoy about this, and again, I don't know the culture in India. Obviously, I'm learning a lot as I watch these films, but there's a caste system, right? And you've got the lower caste or the same caste. And if you're not within that caste, it's difficult to like get married. In fact, at one point, Shergill's character says in justification, I am Brahim. And that's a big point. And then, and this is the part where Shergill gets his comeuppance to a degree, but Sharvan starts punching him. And every time he punches him, he says, Hail Mother India, Hail Mother India. And the conclusion, now Shergill's character is beat up pretty good, and he's got a patch over his eye, so he's obviously blinded in one eye. But what ends up happening at the end, Shergill's character says, okay, we'll forget everything that happened. We won't talk about it. But you can't fight anymore. You, after this one fight, you have to retire. And that's what you got to do. So the last scene, he's actually in the ring, and I think it's the final, with a boxer who ended up being his friend through the course of the movie. And the last fight scene, he's not throwing any punches. He's saying, come on, hit me, hit me, hit me. Well, finally the guy hits him, and he goes down hard. And you see his wife in the stands with a, like this, right? And he's down on the ground, and he does this thing, right? He's down, he looks up, and he does this. Big smile on his face. And she is like, because he kept his promise to her. He was going to do this fight, but this was it. After that, you know, he's given it up for her. And I thought that was a great ending. So I really, yeah, this surprised me. I really enjoyed it. So thanks, Rajvats, or I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but thank you for that selection. I got a lot. Look, here's my recommendation list. I don't know if you guys can even see that because it's so light in here, but I got a lot on here. Okay. I've knocked out a few of them already, but so far so good. I am also going to say Sing 'Em Again. And there's also a film, I think it's called Ligra. I'm going to try to see that in the movie theater, but I don't think it's playing anywhere that I can see it local. So I'm hoping that comes streaming soon so I can see it, because that's getting a lot of good reviews. So I'd like to see that. But Sing 'Em Again, that's going to be in the movie theater, and I'm fired up about that one. Okay, so that's it. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. It has been amazing, and slowly but surely we're getting there. So remember, folks, subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button, share it if you think someone else will like it. I greatly appreciate it. And that's it. We'll see you soon again on John Talks Indian Cinema with another 10ish-minute review. Thanks for watching. See, that's my brow right there, right?
हर दिल की अपनी ताल है, अपना ही एक राग है। हर दिल की अपनी धड़कने, अपनी ही एक आग है। जज्बात पिघले पिघले है तो क्यों